a counter current which will cancel each other out, and he can simply be in knee-deep water and you have absolutely no idea he's there. Cheeky little pop-up, you can see when he's popped his face up, only his nose, his eyes and his ears are exposed. Again, if this is deep, dark, murky water, you would have absolutely no idea that Scrappa is there. But again, he goes back into that hunt and stalk mode, he submerges himself beneath the surface of the water, and then what he's doing is he's relying on the vibration that Jimmy's sending out with his feet. They have what we call integumentary sense organs. So they run along every single scale of his body, which means that he doesn't have to pop up or see Jimmy to know exactly where he is. But what he's doing at the moment is he's playing a little game, and what he's trying to do is cut us both off. Typically for Scrappa, he actually comes out here straight away on the first bit of feed. But we've had our grass done recently and we don't want a 300 kilo animal on that. But what that also does is throw Scrappa off a little bit. He has to learn and remember the ways that we do things. And they have a cerebral cortex, which means he can learn and remember the ways that the show goes especially. So he's not trained in any way, but he knows exactly how to catch us off guard, and that's exactly what he's trying to do. So not only is it enriching for him that we get him to come out in a different spot to usual, it's also very enriching for us and obviously makes it a little bit more of a dangerous situation. See if we can't get Scrappa out for a good feed here. Like I said, he's one of our fastest crocs when he decides to put a hit on. See Jimmy tapping again. They can use these integumentary sense organs to pick up on things like rabbits, bandicoots, small little zookeepers on the side of the edge of the water. Just go quiet here as he sets himself up, pops up, there's his strike, tip of the nose to the base of the tail, so hard and fast. Nothing can get away.
No shame in running.
If anyone has a new pair of underwear, Jimmy's definitely going to need that. And we did also discuss before we came out, of course, we're not sponsored by Cons, either of us, but Jimmy did say get down to his undies if anyone wants to see that after the show. So if we can't get him out for one more feed, Jimmy can have a bit of a redemption go here. That was pretty much flat out for Scrappa. Tip of the nose, base of the tail, so hard and fast that nothing can get away from the attack. It's exactly how crocs are built and designed. They're built for that one initial strike from the water's edge. Ooh, coming out a bit slower this time. Just get a bit closer, Jimmy. I know you got this.
You get closer. Nice. Oh, come on, Scrap. There we go.
Just give it up for Scrappa. Yeah, crocs, they strike out for two reasons. The first one you've just seen there is for food, to grab himself something to eat. Another way that crocs strike out is actually also to defend their territory. They try and get any of the big other animals out of their territory, especially big boys. A male salty can have a pretty large territory, and within that, they rely on the females coming in and out of their territory. So there'll only ever be one boy in the territory, and he can have a few girls depending on how big his space is. Now I'll pass you back to Jimmy, and we'll see if we can't get him a feed out here on the creek.
Thanks, Alec. Thank you for talking for so long too. It's good. You managed to get out a fair bit of info about crocs to leave me with absolutely nothing. Just jokes. You can talk about these guys all day. They're absolutely phenomenal. Now, yes, we had to keep Scrappa off the turf there, and yes, I'm not going to lie, the S word myself over there. He came out incredibly quick there, and was looking straight past a bit of food and at me. Now, he is Agro's son. The apple didn't fall far from the tree. He does come out, we call him Mr. Reliable, because he does come out and try and kill us every single time, which actually makes a great show for you guys, but yeah, puts the, it ups us. So take note, making his way through there, real calm, slow now. He put on an amazing first strike. That was a really good run at me. And crocodiles aren't built for endurance, they're built for one big strike. That's how they hunt in the wild. They learn the patterns and behaviours of feral pigs, of kangaroos. Like Alec mentioned before, they learn our patterns and behaviours. So he was a little bit thrown off, and he's always trying to think about how to get the food. So if he watches a kangaroo or a feral pig come down to a watering hole, he might see it one day and go, man, cool. But if that animal comes back the next day, which it frequently does, has a quick drink and then bails, he'll start to notice. A week goes by, that animal keeps coming back to the same watering hole. That's when Scrappa really takes note. A crocodile at his size Doesn't need to eat every day, every week, or even every month. He could go 6 months without tucker and be just fine. Incredibly patient. So, a month passes, that feral pig keeps coming down to the same bit of watering hole, keeps having a drink, and stays longer each time. And that's when Scrappa strikes. He gets ready, he gets there a couple of hours early, he can hold his breath for 8 hours at a time. So he waits for that animal to come down and get into the water like this, and that's when he strikes. Oh, come on, mate. See how we go with this one. Oh, I'm having an absolute Barry today. Tell you what, does anyone else want to go? A few parents throwing up their kids' hands, that's a bit man. That's alright. Now, Scrap, come on back. Now, that's how smart they are, and that's how patient they are. Incredibly effective at what they do. They've been around for millions of years to become the ultimate aquatic ambush predator. They are perfect at it, but you check out Scrappa's teeth on the side of his head there. They're impressive. He's getting some good chompers. But that's not actually the scary bit on a crocodile, it's the jaw pressure behind it. His jaws are incredibly strong, more jaw pressure than anything else in the animal kingdom. If they grab a pig on the head, tight-knit bone, they can crush it down like we crush a paper cup in our hand. And that's because he has over 3,500 pounds square inch pressure at the back of his mouth. To put that in a bit of perspective for you, that's like a car crusher at the tip. They crush a car into a little cube, that runs off 2,500 PSI. He's got more than that in his mouth. The bigger the croc, the more jaw pressure they have. Akko, our biggest fella, we reckon he's over 100 years old, he's 5 meters. He's got like 5,000 at the back of his mouth. Incredibly strong. So even without a tooth in their head, they can still crush whatever they grab. Now, Scrappa still thinks that there's food that I've dropped on the ground. It's over here, mate. Now, he's also lapping up this beautiful winter's day sunshine. We are a couple of 100 kilometres south of where crocodiles like to breed, at least. And so it can get a little bit cool here, especially overnight. But we do heat their ponds at a balmy 26 degrees. But right now, he's just loving that sunshine. Actually, he responded really well to you then, man. And you know what they say, crocodiles always go for the sick, the weak, the uneducated. So that was good.
It's actually the highly territorial response, mate. He's seen me as the big dominant male, and he's trying to get me out of the territory.
That's not true. There's only one thing that animals hate more than Alex's face here, and that's his personality. So, come on, mate. I'll see if we can't get strapped down for one or another strike. Now, like I said, incredibly intelligent, but they've had millions of years to get that smart and adapted perfectly as well. Those lumps and bumps on his back, the scoots that create a current and a countercurrent, mean that if this was murky water, you have no idea until he did that. And even now, with a little bit of his back exposed, the main thing is his nostrils, his eyes and his ears. If that pops up 50 metres out into a river system, you'd be hard pressed to tell it was a crocodile. He comes up, has a quick breath, ducks back down for hours at a time, and then works off the vibrations of animals to sneak up. Steve-O designed this so it's clear water, so you can see how they operate. But in the wild, they prefer murky water, where they are definitely hidden. Now I'll pass it back to Alec, so he can tell us about another spot where they can get themselves something to eat.
Thanks, mate. So you've seen a couple of strikes from the water's edge now. We're hopefully going to demonstrate another trick that our crocs have up their sleeve in order to grab themselves something to eat. It's what we call the tail walk. So they can actually launch themselves vertically out of the water and grab something, either from an overhanging tree branch or even birds flying over. It's not something we've had to teach any of our crocs how to do. Well, there you go, good on you, Scrappa. Not something you've had to teach them how to do. They know exactly how to do this from the day they hatch out of the egg. They're around 15 centimetres long, and everything would love to eat a baby saltwater croc. So they go straight to the reeds and the mangroves, and they tail walk things like insects. Now, as they get bigger and they develop, even Scrappa's size and even larger, that food item obviously increases as well. And obviously, the higher they can get out of the water, it's not like you today, Jimmy. So they can also get the head up and over that tail walk ramp where they really mean it. Plants his feet at the bottom of the pond. launches himself up with that giant tail and hopefully grabs himself something like a bird flying over or hanging out underneath those flying fox colonies. So if you're ever up in Northern Australia and you see a nice Melaleuca tree, it might look like a nice place to flick a lure, read a book, get a nice post for Instagram, think twice, because people have definitely been taken by tail walking crocs in the past. So definitely keep on top of that. Now, he's a bit of a mix of smart and lazy. He knows the easiest place to grab himself something to eat is that tail walk, Brent. We're going to see if we can't get him out for one last feed, Jimmy.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Now, this is one of our fastest crocs by far. A croc that's big enough to maybe see us as something to snack on. His first strike, you won't see one move faster than that, but nonetheless, let's try and get him out one last time. Show ya that the rumours are untrue, that they can run as fast as a horse, chase you down on a motorbike. Come on, Scrap. There we go. There's a strike from the water's edge. Tip of the nose to the base of the tail covers that distance. Stop looking at my legs, man. Alright. Come on. Come on, big fella. Up to the food.
Little chicken feed, little chicken.
About the same size legs as yours, mate. Righto. Are you just going to sit there and smile at me, or I tell you what, big fella, you have done an amazing job for a winter's day, so I reckon you can just have it. Good boy, good boy. Give it up for him one last time, guys. He is a weapon. Now, the point I want to make is, yes, he's let off some steam. It's hard for him to chase me on the hard, solid ground, though. Our fastest croc is just there. I'm going to sit down in front of Scrap.
You could lay down. Really put your money where your mouth is and lay down.
Alright, I'll lay down over it a bit. And I tell you what, I'm not going to fall asleep here and I'm not going to stay there very long, but watch the difference. I'm further away, compromised position, or sorry, close to, but if I get further away and start mucking around in this water, look at that. I haven't even touched the water yet and he instantly knows the difference, that that's where he's dangerous. That's where he is perfect at what he does. So, even though they've been around for millions of years unchanged, and they are the ultimate aquatic ambush predator, it might seem like coexisting with one is hard, but it ain't. If you follow 3 simple rules in croc territory, you'll be just fine. Stay back from the water's edge, 4 to 5 metres to keep you out of Scrap's range, and the largest salties that have ever existed. Don't overhang the water, and whatever you do, guys, please, 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 don't go swimming with them. That's the golden rule. That's the rule that people, it sounds funny, but that's the rule that people break. Alcohol plays a huge role. People go down to the water, they have a carton of beer, they think they're 10 foot tall and bulletproof. In Alex's case, it's 2 strawberry vodka cruises, but that's all right, mate, you do you. They go down to the water and the unthinkable happens. And yes, of course, it is tragic, but if you take your own safety into your own hands, you won't just be protecting yourself, you'll be protecting our crocodilians and the wildlife of our north. Because every time there is an attack that's completely avoidable, what do we have to listen to? Certain pollies, the media, brandishing this animal, an evil, ugly